What's up, everybody? This is a 2024 vridexl. Anybody that follows Scags, these mowers are relatively new to the market. This one's got 33 hours on it and had some problems. From what I've seen on these things, they're better off blowing hydraulic lines prematurely. All the nuts fall off the muffler guard, and this one in particular just come back from a warranty claim where the deck adjustment rod basically loosened itself and dropped the deck down on the ground. So I'm going to show you guys how to fix that, how to readjust your deck to proper height, and how to level it left to right, forward and back. For context, there's not a Scag that I've personally ever seen that was perfectly level or accurate on the gauge from the factory. Now, most people don't ever notice it. If you're cutting junky grass, whatever, you're never going to see it. But if you're cutting, real finicky Bermuda or stuff that's you're having to cut low, you'll see it. You'll see that 1/4 inch. So step one is get you a Oregon part number 42-095. This is a actual deck height leveling tool. This is what you use to adjust them, or to measure them rather. And make sure your blades and your blade bolts are all straight. I put new blades on no matter what. If I'm leveling them, I don't care if you've cut 1 yard, it's getting new blades on the level job. So let's get started. The overall height on this mower is not the first adjustment I go after. You can do that once the deck is properly leveled, but this is how you check. Take your gauge and stick it up under the blade. Now you see this thing is not touching it, so I need to drop the deck down just a touch. As you can see, this is set at 4 inches. We've got our blade pointed straight out, put it on the tip, and what are we? We're at 4.5. So our blades are a 1/2 inch off from what the actual gauge setting says. Now, we go over here to this side, make sure the blade's pointed straight out, get the gauge right under the edge of the blade, and what are we? So we're 4.5. So this thing, from left to right, is in pretty good shape. And if you take the deck and push on one corner and it doesn't rock, that you're equal on both sides. Now, you can take the same gauge, go to the front of the blade, like so, with the blade pointing forward, and check it, 4.5. Go to the rear, and check it, and we're 4.5. So this deck specifically is perfectly level, front, back, side to side. But as you can see, our gauge is way off. We're 1/2 inch higher than what we're supposed to be. And the two reasons that are important, like I said, this mower just come back from this warranty job, and the shop that set this thing up, this is what they did for him. On these V-Ride 2s, they have two settings, a 5.5 inch and a 6 inch total height. This is the first click, which would be your 5.5 inch. It will not click into the second because they've got the adjustment so out of whack. The deck is hitting the stops before it'll climb to the proper location. So unfortunately the dealership failed him on this one, and not only forgot their pre-inspection, I guess, which is when all this stuff is loose, but they did this warranty job. It damaged the scalp wheels when the deck dropped to the ground, but they sent it back to him where it wouldn't even work as it was intended to from the factory. So unfortunately for my buddy, I'm gonna have to take care of this for him. Obviously there will be a bill associated, but let's get to it. Let's get the total height adjusted. Now we know from our previous lookings that this deck is 1/2 inch out. So you can try to guess on what 1/2 inch is, but there's no point in guessing if you have the proper tools and the knowledge. So the first step is to lower your deck to whatever number you want. It doesn't matter how low or high it is. I recommend somewhere between 3 and 4, depending on the model mower you're working on. Just even round numbers so you know. So all we have to do with this one is drop the deck down to setting number 4, which should be 4 inches, and then make sure the blade height per our gauge is sitting at 4 inches. So bear with me just a second. I'm gonna do that and I'll be right back. All you have to do, I set mine at 4, set your deck, lower it down, take your 3/4/19mm jam nuts loose. There's one there and one here. There's a flat spot on the bar, spin the bar. The bars are left and right hand thread, so as you spin them, they'll get longer or shorter overall. So as you can see, we are at 4 inches on the pin, and with the blade straight out, we are at 4 inches on the gauge. that is how you adjust the overall height and check your blade level. Now this one obviously wasn't out of level from left to right or front to back, but the first thing you need to do, and I forgot to mention this, is check your air pressure in your tires. Make sure that your tires are even left and right. Make sure your blades are good and straight. And the whole reason that's important is if you level your deck based on tires that are improperly inflated or bent blades, now when you put a new set of blades on there or air the tires up, your deck is automatically out of level. So you know, hey, at proper inflation and with proper blades, it cuts like it's supposed to. So if you're ever in the predicament where it's cutting uneven, you know there's something that's blade, bolt, tire, whatever related. So that's how you take care of that. Don't forget to tighten your jam nuts back up. I've got a couple other things to do with this mower. I'm gonna do some test runs with it. The same dealership installed this advanced chute, and instead of properly spacing it off the deck, they left it hanging down. It hangs down 2 inches past the deck. So I'll show you that real quick. But this is supposed to be even. So I don't know, what's that, 1.5 inches, 2 inches or so? The guys that worked on this thing, I'm not gonna speak bad or say names, but it's not up to my par or my standard. So we're gonna get this worked out for this guy and get him back mowing grass. So if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to like, comment, share. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback. If y'all have any kind of issues or if y'all have any specific videos I need to make for y'all, I'll be happy to do so. Have a great day.